Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars and welcome to another PlayStation 4 review. Today's review is for Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise. Now, as I mentioned on a recent review I did, there's not very many games being released that I am certainly interested in, so I'm revisiting games that I have either purchased and not had really much chance to play, or games that I've wanted to play I just never got around to. And this game was in a sale recently on the PlayStation Store. I don't know if it's still in the sale, but I picked it up. I think it was $12.99, might be $14.99, something like that. And now I remember playing the demo for this when it was due to be released, and I'm a fan of the Yakuza games. I've played a lot of those games. I think they're really well constructed games, a lot of fun to play, and this is basically from the same people that made the Yakuza games. Now, straight off the bat, I know nothing about the Fist of the North Star. Stories, anime, whatever it is, I'm not a fan. I'm not knowledgeable in that area. I've just always thought this game looked fun to play. And essentially this game is as mad as a box of frogs. I'll go straight out and say it, but it's huge amounts of fun to play as this game. I mean, the story is literal nonsense, really. I mean, basically what it boils down to, you are Kenshiro, a wandering warrior in the wasteland in a post-apocalyptic future, and you're wandering the wasteland looking for your lost love. And along the way you run into some people from your past, some good, some bad, lots of melodramatic cutscenes, and you make your way to this huge city called Eden. And once you get there, you've got loads of different missions to do, and you name it, you got to do it. It's the usual. It's like an open world. It's very much like the Yakuza games. Again, I'll go back to that. If you've played the Yakuza games, this game is structured very much like those games, in a sense of once the world opens up to you. And boy, it takes a while in this game. That's one of the notes I made leading into this review. It takes an age to get going. And I'm not kidding. I mean, you've got some long cutscenes. Now that's okay if you kind of understand what's going on, but when you don't, they're actually quite comical, I think, the dialogue. It's really fun to watch, I think. Some of the cutscenes and some of the dialogue in this game are really, really fun and funny to watch. So yeah, once the world actually opens up to you, essentially you've got this city to wander around. You can get missions from people, you know, the usual kind of stuff they see in games like this. One of the missions early on is to get a car and get some parts for it, so you have to do jobs here, there and everywhere, and there's stores everywhere. You can buy equipment, buy food and all this kind of stuff to upgrade yourself. It's the usual kind of stuff. It's nothing new there. There's activities to do like gambling, all that kind of stuff in this city. It's got lots of side activities and things like that, and you can go outside the walls of the city and do things like races in your car. Once you get one and you do it up, and you can constantly upgrade it. You go out of the city and you can go on missions to different places and get into races, and you'll have random encounters with these wasteland warriors and outlaws and ragamuffins, you name it. I'm not kidding, it's completely bonkers, this game. Now, as you can see from what you're seeing on screen, the action and the violence in this game is completely another level. It's almost a caricature of itself. You basically play this really highly skilled martial artist who can, and there's no subtle way of putting this really, you can explode people with a single touch. It's hilarious. The finishing moves in this game are the highlight of this game. They're just fantastic. People will just explode in a wonderful red blood goo awesomeness everywhere. It's hilarious. You can't take it seriously. And I think the action and the fight scenes here are kind of what you expect to see in the games like the Yakuza, but they've dialed this up to 11, and they've really, I mean, you can dial down the blood and the violence a little bit in the settings. You can kind of customize it a little bit, you know, to your liking, I guess. Why would you want to? I mean, it's just bonkers the way it is right now. But it's just so much fun to play. There are the systems in the game where you can upgrade your skills, your moves, your health, your stamina, your rage meter or whatever you call it. You can improve all these things in the game, and there's other things you can get as well that it gets a bit convoluted and confused, to be honest. Some of the things that you can upgrade, but while I haven't completed this game, I've put what it feels like 25 hours into it. I probably haven't, but that's how long the cutscenes are. That's the real downside to this game, is the cutscenes. I mean, they go on forever. I mean, you can skip some of them, but then you're even more confused if you skip them. That's the real downside to this game, I think. The long chunks in between where nothing happens, and all you want to do is make someone explode with a touch, you know what I mean? So it can get a little bit repetitive. There are some really cool set pieces, where you get these wasteland overlords charging the city in trucks and attacking it, and you've got to defend the city, and you've got all these melodramatic battles with these bosses and stuff like that, and these over-the-top fights with these giant mutants. I mean, it really is. It's that kind of game, really. And so if you like really, really over-the-top games, this is really an essential buy, I would say. It's so much fun. It really just is so much fun to play. It's Yakuza dialed up to 11. Is really the best way I can describe it. If you've never played a Yakuza game before, you might feel a little bit lost and a bit confused by playing this, because I don't know, it's not the most engaging, you know what I mean? Essentially you're wandering around this wasteland city, this huge bulking guy, and the dialogue, I mean the way he talks as well, it's like the way the guy talks in the Shenmue games. It's like he's reading off an auto cue, and he's no experience in acting at all. It's so funny. I mean, some of the acting performances are what you expect, really over the top, but the way Kenshiro talks, and I'm sure it's supposed to be the way he's supposed to talk in previous efforts, it's just really deadpan and amusing, you know what I mean? And some of the one-liners he comes out with, there's no humour in how he says it. He just, basically when he threatens somebody, he just does it so deadpan. It's hilarious, really. So it's a game I'm having a huge amount of fun with, but it is certainly a flawed game. Overly long cutscenes, things like that, over the top characters, cheesy dialogue, cringy dialogue, some repetitive gameplay, some repetitive missions, and some overly convoluted systems in place in regards to upgrading. I mean, how you upgrade your skills and stuff's absolutely fine. That was fine. There were other aspects to it that I just thought didn't really need. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would say if you're a fan of the Yakuza games, this will feel immediately comfortable. If you've never played a Yakuza game before, you'll go into this and you'll wonder what the hell is going on, because it's hilarious, really. This game, it's huge fun. It doesn't hold back with the violence. The blood and the gore is really in your face, but the fighting mechanics all work. They're all fun. Don't have a problem with any of that at all. And you do feel like a complete badass when you play this game. But just be one. I mean, it's definitely not for everyone, this game, but I'm having a huge amount of fun with it. So from my perspective, I'm going to give this game an 8 out of 10. I think I'm being a little bit generous with that score, but I judge games on how much I'm enjoying them, generally speaking, and this game has got a weird look about it. The mechanics are a bit odd, a bit old-fashioned, you could argue. The dialogue's a bit dodgy, and the cutscenes are too long, but I'd deny anybody really to have fun with this. It's a perfectly fun and enjoyable game, so I'm happy to give it this 8 out of 10. And I think for those of you that have looked at this game and wondered what it is, well, I hope I've given you a better idea of what to expect. So yeah, that is my review for Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise. A completely and utterly bonkers game, but lots of fun to be had for sure. So I hope you enjoyed this review. Thanks for watching.